Emotional manipulation is an insidious force that can erode your sense of self-worth and clarity if left unchecked. It often operates in the shadows, using subtle tactics that are easy to overlook in the moment, but leave a lasting impact. Recognizing these tactics is a crucial first step in reclaiming your emotional balance and protecting yourself from harm. Many manipulators do not overtly display their intentions. Instead, they employ strategies that exploit trust, empathy, and vulnerabilities. To navigate these challenges, you must develop an awareness of their signs and behaviors. One of the most common signs of subtle manipulation is passive aggressiveness. This behavior is marked by indirect resistance to requests or responsibilities, often through procrastination, stubbornness, or intentional inefficiency. For example, someone might agree to help you with a task but deliberately delay or perform poorly, leaving you feeling frustrated or questioning your judgment. Another hallmark of passive aggressiveness is veiled criticism, comments that appear complimentary but are designed to undermine your confidence. These subtle digs can erode your self-esteem over time if left unchecked. Guilt tripping is another tactic used to manipulate emotions. The manipulator may frame situations to make you feel responsible for their problems or unhappiness. They might say things like, "I thought you cared about me," or "If you really loved me, you'd do this." Such statements are not genuine expressions of need, but calculated attempts to control your behavior by preying on your sense of responsibility or guilt. Over time, this can lead to a cycle where you prioritize their needs over your own, neglecting your well-being. Emotional manipulators are often skilled at creating confusion and doubt. Gaslighting, for example, is a tactic where someone makes you question your perceptions, memory, or reality. They might deny events that occurred, downplay your feelings, or accuse you of being overly sensitive. The goal is to destabilize your confidence and make you dependent on their version of the truth. This erosion of trust in your judgment can make it difficult to see through their intentions, trapping you in a cycle of self-doubt and reliance on their narrative. Backhanded compliments and jokes that target insecurities are other tools in the manipulator's arsenal. Phrases like "you're so confident" for someone who's not very experienced, or "I was just joking" after a hurtful remark, are designed to keep you off balance. They allow the manipulator to undermine your self-esteem while maintaining plausible deniability. This tactic creates an environment where you constantly seek their approval, hoping for validation that rarely comes. Another subtle sign of manipulation is the use of selective attention or withholding affection. This occurs when someone alternates between giving you praise and withdrawing it, creating a roller coaster of emotions. They may act cold or distant to make you feel unworthy and then offer warmth or validation just enough to keep you engaged. This intermittent reinforcement keeps you seeking their approval, making it harder to detach from the relationship. Identifying these patterns requires keen observation and self-awareness. Pay attention to how interactions make you feel. Do you often leave conversations feeling confused, guilty, or questioning your self-worth? Do certain people seem to push your buttons in ways that make you feel small or inadequate? Recognizing these emotional responses can help you pinpoint the sources of manipulation in your life. It's also important to listen to your intuition. Often we dismiss gut feelings that tell us something isn't right because we don't want to appear paranoid or overly sensitive. However, your intuition is a powerful tool for identifying manipulative behavior. Trust yourself when something feels off, even if you can't immediately pinpoint why. Building this awareness is not about becoming suspicious or guarded with everyone you meet. Instead, it's about developing the ability to discern healthy, supportive relationships from toxic ones. Healthy relationships are characterized by mutual respect, open communication, and a willingness to address conflicts constructively. In contrast, relationships with manipulators often feel one-sided, draining, and filled with unspoken tension. Recognizing manipulation also involves understanding your triggers and vulnerabilities. Manipulators often exploit specific weaknesses, such as a fear of rejection, a desire to please, or a lack of confidence. Reflecting on these aspects of yourself can help you become less susceptible to their tactics. For instance, if you know you have a tendency to overextend yourself to avoid disappointing others, you can work on setting boundaries that protect your energy and time. By identifying the signs of subtle manipulation and understanding how they operate, you take a significant step toward regaining control over your emotions and interactions. This awareness empowers you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, preserving your peace of mind. Recognizing manipulation is not just about protecting yourself from harm, it's also about creating space for genuine, supportive connections that uplift rather than diminish you. In doing so, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty and set the foundation for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. When dealing with people who play with your feelings, the most powerful response is not reactive or confrontational, but rather rooted in self-awareness and emotional regulation. These individuals often thrive on provoking emotional reactions, deriving satisfaction or power from seeing you upset, confused, or vulnerable. However, when you respond with calmness, clarity, and control, you disarm their manipulative efforts and regain power over your emotional state. Developing this kind of emotional resilience requires practice, but it is one of the most effective ways to protect your well-being and maintain your dignity. A key element of maintaining composure is learning to pause before reacting. Emotional manipulators often use tactics designed to provoke immediate, impulsive responses. They may say or do things that feel like direct attacks, pushing your buttons of anger, frustration, or defensiveness. When you allow yourself a moment to breathe, assess, and process what's happening, you create a buffer between the provocation and your reaction. This pause not only gives you time to choose a thoughtful response, but also denies the manipulator the satisfaction of seeing you lose control. Another critical aspect is recognizing that your emotions are your responsibility. While others may attempt to influence how you feel, you ultimately decide how to interpret and respond to their actions. By grounding yourself in this understanding, you create a mental shield that makes it harder for others to manipulate your mood or self-perception. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending not to feel hurt, anger, or disappointment. Instead, it means acknowledging those emotions without letting them dictate your actions. Practicing mindfulness can be incredibly beneficial in building emotional resilience. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, helping you stay present and grounded even in challenging situations. When someone tries to manipulate you, mindfulness allows you to notice the emotional impact of their behavior without being consumed by it. You can recognize the tactic for what it is, a manipulative ploy, without internalizing it as a reflection of your worth. Setting boundaries is another essential strategy for maintaining your emotional balance. People who manipulate often test your limits, seeing how far they can push before you push back. By clearly defining what you will and will not tolerate, you establish a framework that protects your well-being. For example, if someone consistently makes passive-aggressive comments, you might say, "I value honest communication and prefer we address issues directly rather than through indirect remarks." This not only asserts your boundaries, but also signals that you are aware of their behavior and unwilling to engage with it on their terms. It's equally important to avoid engaging in power struggles. Manipulators often try to draw you into arguments or conflicts that serve their agenda. They may twist your words, shift blame, or escalate the situation to provoke a reaction. Refusing to take the bait disarms their efforts. Instead of arguing or defending yourself, respond with neutrality or disengage from the conversation altogether. Phrases like "I see your perspective" or "let's revisit this later when we can have a calmer discussion" can help de-escalate tensions while maintaining your composure. Emotional manipulators often use confusion as a weapon, creating doubt and uncertainty to destabilize you. They might contradict themselves, deny things they've said or done, or present information in a way that makes you question your memory or judgment. To counteract this, focus on clarity and facts. Keep records of important conversations, whether through notes, emails, or texts, so you have a reference point if discrepancies arise. Trust your instincts and observations, and don't let someone else's version of events override your perception of reality. One of the most empowering responses to manipulative behavior is cultivating self-confidence. Manipulators often prey on insecurities, exploiting fears or doubts to gain control. By building your self-esteem and focusing on your strengths, you become less vulnerable to their tactics. Surround yourself with supportive people who uplift and validate you. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, and remind yourself of your worth independent of anyone else's approval or criticism. Another powerful tool is emotional detachment. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent, but rather developing the ability to separate your emotions from the manipulator's actions. When you detach, you stop internalizing their behavior as a reflection of your value. You recognize that their actions say more about them than about you, allowing you to respond with empathy or indifference rather than anger or hurt. Emotional detachment frees you from the cycle of reaction and reactivity, giving you the clarity to see the situation for what it truly is. It's also helpful to shift your focus from the manipulator to yourself. Instead of trying to change or fix their behavior, concentrate on what you can control: your actions, choices, and mindset. Ask yourself what you need to feel safe and supported, and take steps to meet those needs. Whether it's limiting contact, seeking professional guidance, or prioritizing self-care, putting yourself first is a powerful act of self-preservation. Ultimately, the goal is not to win against the manipulator, but to maintain your peace and integrity. By responding with calmness and control, you protect your emotional well-being and demonstrate that their tactics are ineffective. This not only discourages further manipulation, but also empowers you to navigate relationships and challenges with strength and confidence. When people silently play with your feelings, the most challenging aspect is often the uncertainty it creates. The lack of direct communication leaves you grappling with doubt, confusion, and frustration. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of overanalyzing their actions, wondering if you misread their intentions or second-guessing your own instincts. To protect yourself and regain control, you need to sharpen your ability to observe patterns and interpret subtle cues while trusting your inner voice. This combination empowers you to see through manipulative behavior and take steps to shield your emotional well-being. One of the first things to understand is that actions often speak louder than words. People who play with your feelings may not always verbalize their intentions, but their behavior reveals their true motives. If someone's actions are consistently inconsistent, showing kindness one moment and indifference the next, it's a red flag. These shifts in behavior are not random, but deliberate tactics designed to keep you emotionally off balance. The uncertainty makes you question yourself, creating a dependency on their approval or attention. By focusing on their actions rather than their words, you can begin to see the underlying patterns and recognize manipulation for what it is. To decode these patterns, pay close attention to how you feel in their presence. Your body often registers discomfort or unease before your mind fully understands what's happening. If you consistently feel anxious, drained, or unsure after interacting with someone, it's a sign that they might be subtly undermining your emotional stability. Trusting these feelings is crucial, as they serve as an internal compass guiding you away from harmful dynamics. Reflect on these interactions and consider whether their behavior aligns with your values and needs. If it doesn't, you have every right to protect yourself by creating distance. Learning to trust your instincts is a vital part of this process. Manipulative individuals thrive on making you doubt yourself, often using subtle cues to plant seeds of uncertainty. They may employ tactics like withholding affection, giving backhanded compliments, or acting distant without explanation. These actions can make you feel as though you've done something wrong, even when you haven't. Your instinctual response might tell you that something feels off, even if you can't immediately pinpoint why. Honoring that feeling is a powerful step toward breaking free from their influence. Recognizing patterns also involves identifying recurring themes in their behavior. Are they consistently evasive when you seek clarity? Do they avoid accountability by shifting blame or denying their actions? These tendencies are hallmarks of someone who isn't engaging with you in good faith. While occasional misunderstandings happen in any relationship, repeated patterns of manipulation indicate a deeper issue. Documenting these instances can help you see the bigger picture and validate your experiences, especially if you've been made to feel like you're overreacting. Part of understanding patterns is also being aware of how their behavior impacts your boundaries. People who play with your feelings often push limits gradually, testing how far they can go without facing resistance. They might dismiss your concerns as overthinking, ridicule your feelings, or make subtle jabs that chip away at your confidence. By observing how their actions evolve over time, you can identify when your boundaries are being crossed and take steps to enforce them. Self-awareness is a critical tool in this journey. The more you understand your own emotional triggers and vulnerabilities, the less power manipulative individuals have over you. For instance, if you know you're sensitive to rejection, you can recognize when someone is using that fear to manipulate your actions or decisions. This awareness enables you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, preserving your emotional energy and maintaining your sense of self-worth. Building a support system can also help you gain perspective on the situation. Trusted friends or mentors can offer valuable insights, helping you see patterns you might have missed or affirming your observations. Their outside perspective can break through the fog of confusion that manipulative behavior creates, reminding you that your feelings and experiences are valid. Sharing your concerns with someone you trust not only lightens the emotional burden, but also strengthens your resolve to take action. It's essential to remember that identifying patterns and trusting your instincts doesn't mean you're obligated to confront the person directly. In some cases, addressing manipulative behavior may not lead to resolution and could even escalate tensions. Instead, the focus should be on safeguarding your emotional health and making decisions that serve your well-being. Whether that means setting firm boundaries, limiting contact, or disengaging entirely, you have the right to choose what's best for you. Ultimately, trusting your instincts and observing patterns allows you to step out of the manipulative dynamic and reclaim your sense of control. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's whims or hidden agendas. Instead, you become the author of your emotional narrative, equipped with the clarity and confidence to navigate relationships with intention and purpose. This empowerment doesn't just protect you from harm, it also paves the way for healthier, more authentic connections in the future. When people play with your feelings silently, one of the most profound impacts it has is on your ability to trust in others and more importantly, trust in yourself. This erosion of trust can leave you questioning your worth and doubting your ability to discern who is genuine and who isn't. To navigate these situations effectively, it's crucial to develop a sense of resilience and self-awareness. These tools not only help you protect yourself from emotional manipulation, but also allow you to emerge stronger, more confident, and better equipped to maintain your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Resilience begins with acknowledging your emotions and giving yourself permission to feel them. When someone manipulates your emotions, it's natural to experience anger, sadness, confusion, or even guilt. Denying these feelings or suppressing them only makes the situation more challenging, as unresolved emotions tend to manifest in other areas of your life. By accepting and processing your emotions, you can start to regain control over how you respond to the behavior of others. This doesn't mean you have to dwell on the hurt indefinitely. Instead, it's about facing it head on and allowing yourself the space to heal. An essential aspect of building resilience is understanding that the way others treat you often says more about them than it does about you. Manipulative individuals frequently project their insecurities and fears onto others, using underhanded tactics to maintain a sense of control. Recognizing this truth can help you separate your sense of self-worth from their actions. You are not defined by someone else's inability to treat you with respect and kindness. This realization creates a mental boundary between their behavior and your identity, allowing you to maintain your confidence and self-esteem, even in the face of emotional games. Resilience also involves setting boundaries, clear, firm, and consistent ones. People who manipulate often test your limits to see how much they can get away with. They may push you to compromise your values or tolerate behaviors that make you uncomfortable. By establishing boundaries and enforcing them without apology, you send a powerful message: your feelings and well-being are non-negotiable. This doesn't require confrontation or aggression. Often, simply withdrawing your time, attention, or energy from those who disrespect your boundaries is enough to protect your peace. Self-awareness plays a critical role in maintaining resilience. The more you understand your own emotional landscape, the better equipped you are to recognize when someone is attempting to manipulate or undermine you. Reflect on past experiences where you felt manipulated or taken advantage of. What patterns do you notice? Were there specific triggers or vulnerabilities that the person exploited? By identifying these factors, you can take proactive steps to safeguard yourself in future interactions. Self-awareness isn't about blaming yourself for others' behavior. Rather, it's about equipping yourself with the knowledge to navigate complex emotional dynamics effectively. Another key element of resilience is learning to let go of the need for closure or validation from the person who hurt you. Manipulative individuals often thrive on keeping you entangled in their web, offering just enough attention or explanation to keep you hooked. They may never provide the closure you seek or acknowledge the pain they've caused. Accepting this reality can be liberating, as it frees you from waiting for something that may never come. Instead, you can focus on creating your own sense of closure by prioritizing your healing and well-being. Practicing self-compassion is vital in this journey. When you've been emotionally manipulated, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-blame, wondering what you did to deserve such treatment or why you didn't recognize the signs sooner. These thoughts only deepen the emotional wounds. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend in a similar situation. Remind yourself that everyone has moments of vulnerability and that your ability to care deeply for others is strength, not a weakness. Building resilience also involves cultivating a strong support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift, encourage, and respect you. These are the individuals who remind you of your worth and provide a safe space for you to share your feelings without fear of judgment. Their presence reinforces your sense of belonging and helps counteract the negativity you may have experienced from manipulative individuals. Leaning on your support system isn't a sign of weakness, it's a testament to your ability to seek out and nurture healthy connections. As you develop resilience, you may find that your perspective on relationships begins to shift. You become more discerning about whom you allow into your inner circle and more intentional about the energy you invest in others. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from new experiences or relationships. It means approaching them with a sense of self-assurance and clarity. By valuing your own worth and refusing to tolerate disrespect or manipulation, you attract people who genuinely appreciate and respect you. Ultimately, resilience isn't just about surviving difficult situations, it's about thriving despite them. It's the ability to face challenges head on, learn from them, and emerge stronger on the other side. When someone plays with your feelings silently, their goal is often to destabilize you and make you question yourself. By cultivating resilience, you deny them the power and reclaim your sense of control. You become the architect of your emotional narrative, no longer a victim of someone else's agenda. In this newfound strength, you find the freedom to live authentically and connect deeply with those who truly value you.